Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have the very last planner page from the Johanna Basford weekly planner to do today. This is another one from Johanna's Christmas, but it's a little bit less Christmassy than perhaps some of the others, being as it's a nice heart. I thought I would just show you how I've coloured this before, because when I did, I have to come out a bit actually so you can see, because the books are bigger, aren't they? When I did this before, people seemed to like looking at what I had done. I thought it was the last one, but obviously I was wrong, so sorry. I would have found it. So I did a pink and silver heart here. The silver is coloured in just pencil. I think it would look better in silver pen. So there's a pink and silver one. And then in this book, which is my second book, I did it rather differently in red with different coloured, sort of what I thought or try to make look like gemstones. So that is the other one, which I think is better, but we're not going to do it like that at all. I've been actually looking at what other people have done as well. I've seen some really stunning ones on Pinterest, but I'm trying not to get overwhelmed by other people's amazing work. Now I've got my Black Widow's pencils out just because I haven't used them for ages. Well, what feels like ages, so I thought we'd give them a go. So I'm just opening up the swatch chart so I can see what I'm doing now. The plan is to do some gemstones in here, like I did on that one before, in red, and then do the intricate work in gold, and then background is a possibility. So let's tease you like that. So the gemstone bit in red is the easiest bit for me. So I'm going to show you that first, or do that first. You can watch and decide if you like it. So I'm just picking some reds. I'm not going to do just one red. We're going to do each one with a variety of reds. So I'm going to start with my palest red, which I think is going to be the deep red, which is this one. Now it is quite it's a mid red, I would say, not a dark red. And what I'm going to do is just pick out all the shapes that I'm going to make into gemstones and just colour them in with a medium layer of this deep red, like that. And it's symmetrical, so it's quite easy to do the other side. And I'm just going to do that throughout, just so that I can see where I'm at. I've gone over the lines already. Now I think I'm going to do these as well as gemstones, which I did on that other one that I did with gemstones. I think partly because there aren't many ones without any dots and lines in, and therefore would mean we wouldn't get an awful lot of gemstones, and I quite like a nice pop of red every so often. I've got a little tiny one in there. So you can use any pencils, it's just a mid red. You can see what sort of colour it is. It's not a pinky red, it's not an orangey red, it's probably more of an orangey red than a pinky red, but it doesn't matter really what colour. You could do it in purple. I'm thinking about, you know, the fact this is going to be gold. Lots of colours match. Purple matches gold really lovely. You could even go black. You could go blues would work. You know, you could pick your favourite colour. So it's up to you. So I hope everyone's okay today. I am good. I had a bit of a disturbed sleep, but husband wasn't home. So I wasn't sure what time he was coming home. In fact, he didn't come home. So I kept sort of waking up and thinking, is he here? No, he's not. Okay. But it was okay, really. He was at work. Basically, he was supposed to break up from work, finish work for Christmas yesterday, and but he wanted to get a project done. So he stayed to do it, and he just stayed late, and then he just stayed all night. Now, this is where it gets a bit complicated. Can you see we've got a line going through these two? So if they're gemstones, this line goes on top of them, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to colour them in and let that line go over them. I know it doesn't quite work with regards to physics, but I just want these pops of red So anyway, so yeah, I rang him this morning and he said he'd got some breakfast at work and he still hadn't got it fixed, and he was going to have a chat to the person that he was doing it for to see whether they needed it before he finished his holiday, and if they did, he'd have to work on it today as well, even though he's supposed to be on holiday today. But the plan is to extend his holiday at the other end, so start back a day later if he works today. But yeah, all that unpaid work overnight. But it'll be worth it if he can have a proper relaxing holiday. He not often, but he has been known to do all-nighters at work before, and not just in this job, in previous jobs as well. And he doesn't seem to mind. He was in good spirits when I phoned him. When I spoke to him last night, he wasn't, but he was this morning. So he'd had some breakfast. They've got shops, you know, like a canteen, I suppose you'd call it, and he had a croissant and a pain raisin for breakfast and a coffee, so he said he was okay. So hopefully, a bit worried about him driving home with no sleep, but he'll be shattered tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm hoping he might come home a bit early and then have a sleep this afternoon, but we'll wait and see. I can't determine that. He should really speak to his boss about it all, but he just didn't. So anyway, we'll see what happens, and I'll just get on. I was hoping he was going to take me Christmas shopping, but yeah, today. But I haven't set my heart on it. I've got a backup plan because I know that he isn't always up for it. So he's not always well, to be honest. So, but he'll be tired. We'll see. I had a quick chat with my mum this morning as well. My sister was telling me she's getting stressed about hosting Christmas on the 22nd. It's a bit frustrating because she seems to get stressed about going somewhere else for Christmas. So me and my sister said, right, let's let her do it, and then she won't get stressed. I'm just choosing a darker colour. I was going to go for burgundy, but white pen bleeds into it, and I might want to use some white pen, so I'm going to have to use brown bug. And this is what I'm going to put around the very edges of the heart of each of the little shapes. Sorry, it could be in a bit closer. I'm just going to sharpen it. What sharpener do I tend to use for these? I'm going to try the Tagal. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to go around the whole edge with quite a dark line. Like that. And then gently scumble it in a little bit. Now, obviously, it's quite scruffy. I want this bit to look neat because I don't want to come back to this colour. But the bit that I've just done is fine looking scruffy because I'm definitely planning on doing another layer. So just around all the edges, really. Yeah, so anyway. So yes, apparently she was worrying about having enough room on the hob to cook all the different vegetables that everyone wanted. It's really hard. Tried to keep it really simple. You know, I don't mind what we have. But this person said they wanted this, and then this person this, and suddenly there's like 5 things, and she's got 4 rings on her hob. She's like, how am I going to do it? It's like, well, you put a steamer on top of one of the pans, cook vegetables in the bottom of one and put the steamer on the top of the other. But I suggested that to her the other day, but she didn't seem to like the idea, but she's come round to the idea now. And she was also like, how am I going to seat everyone? It's like, well, you did it last year. She worried about that last year, I remember, but my dad came up with a plan. It's quite squashed, you know, seating everyone, but it works. Some people don't like being squashed, that's the only problem. But they have to, if they get a corner, then they can get a bit of elbow room on one side at least, you know. But I don't mind being squashed, so that's okay. I think it's yeah, I didn't used to like it when I was younger, but I'm okay with it now. Depends who you're squashed against. I don't mind being squashed against any of my family. It's all fine. But my sister said she doesn't like being in my house because the kitchen is narrow. The table, there's only just enough room to sit around the table, so you get trapped in if you're at the back, which she says is horrible. But I was like, well, you don't have to sit. You can get someone else to sit at the back. There's only 4 people at the back, and the 2 people on the ends don't get trapped in. It's only the ones in the middle. So, but I don't know. There used to always be arguments over who was going to host Christmas, you see. So I was just like, let's just do it in Mum's, let her do it. But it's difficult. Everyone wants to do it, and then everyone gets stressed by it. It's really difficult. I was saying to one of my neighbours, they hire a house, and that sounds amazing. I'd absolutely love to do that. But I know that my husband and my sister's husband would hate it, and it would be too expensive for anyone to be able to afford to do it. And I'm thinking, yeah, once my children and her children have their own children, there just won't be room. There just won't be. So I'm going to have to come up with another solution, because it's just, yeah, it will just be too many. I wonder how other people do it. I mean, some people eat out for lunch, and then that means no one has to worry about cooking. Thing is, me and my sister love doing the cooking. We both like cooking, so that's not a problem. And also because my sister's vegan and her kids are quite fussy, not being rude, they just are, you know, they know what they like. There isn't anywhere they could go that would do something they liked. Her one son, he only really likes one sort of main thing, you know, so it's a bit tricky. And I'm sure he'll grow out of it, but kids, mine used to be quite difficult as well when they were a bit younger. So we'll just have to see. But I also want to invite my parents up to mine at some point over Christmas. I've got to talk to everyone about it. Right, that's the brown bug done. Now, I'm just seeing whether I'm going to go do another step, but I'm not. I'm going to go back to the deep red and take the colour slightly more towards the centre and a bit more, bit heavier. So I'll show you on this one here, this larger one, where I'll go over what I've done and then just bring the colour in a bit like that. Now I've still left the centre pale. I'm going to do that with all of them. And it takes time to do this and to put this much detail into doing it. You could just do the one layer of red and be done with it. But I think it's worth the extra bit of time and effort on it. But it depends how much time you have. I mean, we're after Christmas now, so you should have a bit of time, maybe. But hopefully you're not back at work yet. It's nice to have a bit of a break. Although I know in America, when my aunt, my uncle was around, he used to only get Christmas Day off, and that was it. My aunt said because there were so many different religious holidays, they didn't give you like Christmas off. He had to just save his holiday up, and you know, people had to take what they wanted as actual leave, In this country, we're still very much focused on Christianity with regards to holidays, and so some companies will shut between Christmas and New Year, that sort of thing. And yeah, we're very much more Christian, Christmas focused. Although obviously not everyone is, not everyone celebrates. We do have a mix of religions. We're just not very good at being inclusive as a nation as a whole, as far as I can tell. But I still think it's nice, whatever religion you are, to be able to have a little bit of a break at Christmas time, even if you're not celebrating Christmas. Hopefully that's good. But as long as you're allowed to take off any other days that you want to celebrate, if you're a different religion, if you know what I mean, if you've got other things, other festivals, holidays that you want to take off. But we're very close-minded here as a nation. I think it's I think being an island nation doesn't help us any bit, to be honest, because you don't observe other cultures, we have other languages. I mean, we have. Now here I want a lighter yellow just to go over that central part. And I'm looking at what I've got here on my swatch chart. I'll just show you. So I've got this watermelon, it's very pinky. The fire is more orangey, so I'm going to do that, but I'm just going to go and answer the phone. Right, sorry. Apparently it was Microsoft on the phone. Believe that, you believe anything. Right, so I was talking about the colours. Sorry. So the watermelon is too pink, so I'm going to use the fire, which is a little bit orangey, but on top of the colour we've got there already, I think it will work. Here it is. And I'm just going to sort of finish them off to how I want them to look. So I still want a lighter bit in the middle, like that. So they look a little bit, helps give them a bit of shape. Now, if they're not quite looking how you want, something you can try is to put a little bit of black around the edge. And that helps them to look a bit more three-dimensional and stand out a little bit more. But I don't know whether some of them are quite small, and I think that's why they're struggling a bit, or why I'm struggling a bit. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, I was saying, I think because we're an island nation, although we have Welsh and Gaelic, we just sort of, in England, we're terrible. We just sort of ignore them and think everyone should speak English. And when we go abroad, we're very poor at learning another language. Although we learn other languages at school, we tend to learn French, German, Spanish, things like that, maybe, depending on the school. In Wales, you learn Welsh, though. We tend to go abroad and just think if we speak slowly and loudly in English, then everyone should understand us. You know, it's quite arrogant, isn't it? Right, there is the red bit done. Oh, let's move my swatch chart out of the way. Now, okay, I'm going to choose the colours for my gold. Now, I always start with a dark brown. So let's have a little look. Got a nice selection of dark browns here. I rather like the huntsman, which I'll probably grab. Here it is. Huntsman. Now, where we're going to put our darker areas and our lighter areas is quite difficult because we don't have any really obvious bits, I don't think. I think the end of the swirls here, I might make those dark. So what I'm doing is creating a dark bit and then going lighter like that. Same on that bit. Now I might find I want to come back and put some shadows in with this at the end, but right now I'm just not worrying about that. We're just going to get the sort of basics done. No, so I'm just doing all these loopy endy bits. Now this does look like a vine, so you know, by all means do it green, it'd be very Christmassy, but you know, I can't resist a bit of gold. I haven't tried this one in gold. I've seen a few done in gold that look amazing. I don't think mine's going to quite come up to that, but you know, give it a good shot. That's what I can do, really, isn't it? Something I noticed with quite a few of these is people have done backgrounds. Now, what some people have done is they've put something across the whole page that you can see through this design, which looks really amazing. And some people have done like black background, or they've done a red background, things that look really lovely. So I have been thinking a bit about background. It's quite scruffy, isn't it, on that one and that one? I had thought about a pastel-y thing, but I'm not sure. Right, there's a bit of darker brown here. Now I'm going to put a bit down here at the bottom, I think. Going up there and up here. Where should we go? I'm thinking maybe the tips of these. I'm just sort of working my way round. Now the ends of this bit and this bit here. Yep, the end of there and there. See, that's dark. I paid this bit dark. That's quite a long bit all the way around. This bit should probably go on a bit longer like that. There's someone cutting a tree down. Something like that. Chainsaw. I mean, they might not be cutting a tree, to be fair. Might just be, I don't know. A bit stuck now. A bit here and here maybe. Here and here. Right, I'm going to leave that there. So I haven't really done much. I'm a bit like, should I have done a bit more? But we'll see. Now I want more of a mid-brown colour. We're quite orangey in some of our mid-browns. So I'm just having a careful look. I'll show you. So these are all quite dark. So we chose our huntsman here. Now we could go Negro, tarantula, cinnamon. They're quite orangey. Mahogany is the least orangey, I think. So I'm going to go for that one next. Mahogany. I'm going to use quite a lot of colours, I think, because I've got a lot of space to fill. Here we are, mahogany. Now, there's some easy bits we can do with this. Well, we can just extend what we've done. Go over what you've done already and just extend it. And it's quite straightforward. Yeah, my son answered the phone. He said, oh, it was Microsoft. And I said, are you sure? He's like, that's what they said. He was joking with me because he knows it absolutely wasn't. Used to get them pretending to be our internet supplier, BT, but BT rarely supply internet to anyone. I think they've got wise to that a lot of people don't use BT. BT being British Telecom, just for those of you wondering. So most people don't, because they're more expensive, I think. I don't know what we use something that my husband picked because it's got the fastest speed of broadband without being stupidly expensive. That's what's important to him, which is fair enough. I leave him to it. He knows what he wants. So just extending all of these darker areas, colouring over what I've done already, just extending it down. Now here, look, we've got a bit that crosses over. Now normally I would put a shadow in there. I might do that later, but it passes under and carries on here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just going to treat it as if it didn't do that really. And I'm hoping it's just all going to come together nicely. Just got to hope, haven't you, really? Be confident with it and hope it's going to work. And, you know, if it isn't quite right, that's life, isn't it? Now, these central ones need a bit of darker colour on that I missed. So here, 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 here. Make that a bit tidier. I've got to try and make sure I don't miss any out. Yeah, I hope you all are having a good Christmas or break or holiday, whatever you call it, whatever you do, you know, it's good. Everyone's hopefully getting a bit of a rest. I know some people just have to work. I'm just trying to work out what I did here. That, you know, and I hope you still managed to have a bit of a break. I know in Australia it's summer, it's your big summer holiday. So you get quite a significant break. I think that's all of them. So now we're going to go slightly lighter again. So we were here, mahogany. So looking at castle, but it's quite close. I think I want to go a lighter. See, stink bug is quite good colour. I think I'll go there. It's a good name as well. Let's have it there. Yeah. You're a stinky bug. Amuses me anyway. Maybe I'm just a bit immature. Again, I'm still just sort of stretching and extending those bits that I've coloured. This one needs to go quite a way up now, I think. Yeah, that's not very long, is it? It's got to go all the way. Yeah. I think these two bits here, I'm going to go back to my mahogany and I'm going to just extend them a lot further, because it extends a really long way. I feel like we need to do that, or else it's not going to quite work out how I planned. There we go. Right, back to the stink bug. Yeah, I was wondering whether my parents were going to go to the pantomime this year. They often go. My mum always says she's not going to go, and then my dad always wants to go and books it, and then they have a good time. You know, my mum was never a big fan. When we were little, she wouldn't go with us. My aunt took us once, and I took the children once. They weren't. I remember my one son was really ill, and he was really, really hot at the temperature, and he just didn't really like it. And I had to took him to the back for the second half, where I thought would be a bit quieter and cooler, nearer the door, you know. And he spent the whole time just cuddled into my chest with his head in me, not wanting to look out and watch what was going on. But it sort of put him off, really. But I think it's something you either like or you really don't, you know. It's tricky. think the concept is quite strange as well. You know, the lead man is played by a woman, the dame is played by a man. I mean, it's fine. It just seems odd. I know that back, you know, because there was such an old tradition, like back years ago, of course, when Shakespeare was writing plays, women weren't allowed to act, so the men always played the women's roles anyway, so that was okay. But for then to have a woman playing the man's role, that I wonder where that came from. Maybe that they just decided to do a sort of role reversal type thing going on. And I've got nothing against that sort of thing. I'm just find it a bit confusing in that specific context as to why they bother. What does it add? Why they do it? Maybe it's just funny. I don't know. I sharpened my pencil. I just realised I haven't done this bit down here. So yeah, it's and then there's so much audience participation, which is what my mum hates. You have to sort of chant along and shout, and she finds it cringingly embarrassing, which I do too in some contexts, but not all. Right, we're going to go for a more yellowy tone now. We could go for the light bronze. I think I will. It's a bit greeny, but it's a bit like green gold, I suppose, so I think it's okay. Okay. I haven't got any here. Needed a bit of stink bug there. Okay, so that light bronze could be our almost final colour. So I need to start thinking carefully about how much I'm putting on and where we're sort of leading. So I think it'd be quite good to have that come together with a bit of a shiny bit there. So when I come up here, I can bring my bronze all the way along to there. I'll bring it up to the top of there, like that, and here, sort of meet it here. This is where you have to start thinking a little bit about what you're doing. The brain doesn't want to be thinking. Here, I'm going to put a little bit more up here because we've got to sort of join it in with this bit. That's okay. A bit here. I'm going to decide what we're doing with this bit. I guess that comes from there. Let's come down here first. Oh, it's a train. Quite loud, that one. Trains aren't running over Christmas all the time. They're doing some repair work, which makes sense. It's a good time to do it. People do travel less. I mean, obviously people travel to family and therefore they might be getting a train, but they don't commute to work. So they can be a little bit more flexible normally, which helps. Now, where am I going here? I think I'm going up to there now. I'm going to do this long one so I can see where I'm at. All the way up. Yeah, that could be enough to fill in. And then this one down here. So we've got this bit here, meeting it here. And then going up here. Tricky quite working out exactly how to fill each section, but I think once it's done it will all make sense, as far as I can tell so far anyway. But what I'm going to do is make sure the other side is symmetrical, which is going to be tricky. Now that bit comes under there and up there. We can put some yellow in there. Yeah, we can make this bit quite yellow here. Now we've got to come towards the centre here. Thinking can go up there and up here and make this central bit yellow as well. Like that. Now that bit's got to mirror with that and across here now. Yeah. That bit's there. Sorry, concentrating. It's quite hard. I feel a bit tired today. It's weird because I suppose I was awake listening out for husband on and off, but not massively. I mean, I knew where he was. It's not, you know, I wasn't worried, but I was just wondering whether he was going to come home. But I sort of thought, you know, he's probably not going to come home once it was a particular time. It's like, you know, once it was sort of 11, I was like, no, I doubt he'll come home now. He'll probably just get his head down and try and get on. But yeah, I think it's because I've stayed in bed quite late. Although I was awake really early, I wanted to let the kids have a lie-in. So I 6:15 I woke up and I was pretty much just lying there until 8:30. It felt quite a long time. Now, where are we going here? This one. So, yeah. It's actually 11:45, so I'll have some lunch soon. That might wake me up. Hopefully. My stomach just grumbled. That was quite funny. Now, sort of leaving that one and taking this up here a bit. Like that. Oh, now it's grumbling madly. I don't know if you can hear it. The microphone's quite close to my belly. Now, what's going on over here? I've got this loop under here. Not much there. A little bit up here. No, that one. I'm just trying to look now and see if it's symmetrical. And if it isn't, then I know I need to do a bit more. That bit. Oh, stomach, stop it. Yeah, not too bad there. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So now I want a yellowy colour to finish it all off. It's quite orangey, isn't it? Now I'm thinking, do you want something warm? Orangey, browny. I think I'm going to go with the banana. There you are, banana. I'm going to give it a sharpen. Now I still want to leave a few white bits so that it looks shiny. So, let's start here. Just going to draw it together. Say leave a few little white bits. I'm going over everything with the banana. I had a banana this morning for my breakfast, with my breakfast, but it was when I peeled it, the skin started to split, and it seemed really raw. But just the top bit was, the rest of it was okay. And my son opened one and went, "This is an edible." I said, "No, just cut it, and you'll find that it's okay." Maybe it's why my stomach's rumbling. Trying to digest a unripe banana. I said raw, didn't I? Always eat them raw. But anyway, I can see that here it's really coming to life. It looks much brighter, nicer, warmer, all those things. So I knock it squiff every so often. I've got a very yellowy bit up here, so anywhere there's a gap, put lots of yellow in, but leave a small gap for where it, you know, to make it look a bit more shiny, as if it's catching the light in the odd place here and there. Got to think about how far to go here. I think I'll do that. You can let it catch the light in a few places. There we go. Let's work all around this large one. I know I haven't done the birds. Got this one to do. I think I'm going to take it just over there. Yeah. And it's a good way to just fill in those bits that maybe you've missed a little bit somewhere or other. And you've got a white bit that needs just filling in or something. And we're nearly there. Now I went nearly all the way up there to there. Difficult to talk and do this at the same time because I'm a bit concentrating quite a lot, but hopefully it's not too boring, and we're nearly there anyway. Okay, now birds. Oh no, we've got this bit in the centre. It actually needs the stink bug on. It hasn't had much paler colour. I'm just going to use the stink bug and then the mustard. I'm going to cheat a bit. There we go. Now birds, they're symmetrical, aren't they? You can do them in any colour you wish, obviously. I'm thinking I might do them in the gold as well. Just yeah, why not? I've just done a bit I've missed. There we go. So how do we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got so many colours. We do it a slightly more, a slightly simplified version. So I am sharpening my mahogany. I'm going to start with the mahogany. I'm going to put it all the way around the edge of the bird. There we go. It's fiddly. They're small. Now I'm thinking that this page might look better with a black background rather than a white one. Oh, the sun's having a giggle. But I'm not sure I have the patience to use I'm going to now use the stink bug. I don't know if I have the patience to use a black Posca pen on the whole of this page, and I don't think I could just do it on the outside. I'd have to do it on the inside as well. And I'm just sort of thinking, can I do that? Would I have the patience? Would it send me slowly batty? It's good questions, aren't they? Banana. So I don't know. From someone who's randomly saying the word banana at you, I think we know the answer. Where I'm already batty. There we go. Oops. So there it is, and I am very tempted to say that's done because I don't want to do the black. You could do black just inside the heart and maybe a little border around the outside. You could do the whole background black and then do lots of little white dots around the edge of the heart. I think it would look really nice, but I'm just not going to do it. So I'm not going to do it. So that is me done. So I'm happy with it. Sometimes you just have to say, I'm done, and I'm done. So there is our heart. So thank you for watching today. There will be a completed book flip through of this video coming up because, yeah, it's all done. So thank you again and happy colouring.